Human Girl was the worst in her class until she revealed her true power. They mocked her, ignored her, called her earth trash. But when the Academy faced extinction, only she stood between survival and annihilation. The Interstellar Academy of Psionics floated above the gas giant Zelia, shimmering like a crown of silver glass. It was where the galaxy's finest came to hone their gifts: telepathy, elemental shaping, kinetic manipulation, even time bending. Only the most gifted were admitted. So when a clumsy, quiet human girl named Elara stumbled into the class of 9 Zenith, no one took her seriously. She was earthborn, lowborn, and worse, non-responsive to most psionic scans. Her powers registered as nearly non-existent, barely a flicker. While others levitated entire weights or spoke across minds, Elara tripped over her own robes and failed basic meditation. Human waste, hissed Zevran, a proud thyri prince with a diamond-shaped core in his chest. She should be back tending soil. She only got in as an experiment, sneered Vaisha, whose mind fire burned blue-hot. Even the instructors grew weary. Master Quillen once muttered, "Earth students never make it past the first year." And yet, Elara stayed. No one noticed how she always sat by herself, not sulking, just watching. She listened when others shouted. She stared at the stars while the rest practiced their psychic bursts. And she failed, over and over again. Her only friend, if he could be called that, was a maintenance droid named K, 17, who fixed crack training walls and often beeped sympathetically when she fell. "You're just effective," Vaisha told her one day during kinetic trials. "Why don't you drop out before someone gets hurt?" Elara opened her mouth to speak, but no words came. Not yet. She simply walked away. It was during the test of fears, a rite of passage for year 3s, that everything changed. The test was simple. Survive an illusion crafted from the deepest corner of your mind. Most saw darkness, loss, fire. Elara's illusion wasn't seen, it was felt. Her body locked up. Her eyes turned glassy. And for 3 hours, she didn't move. When it ended, the proctors declared she had failed again. "She couldn't even break the illusion," scoffed Zevran. "She barely has a mind worth reading," smirked Vaisha. What they didn't see was that Elara had survived something worse than fire or death. She had relived Earth. The bullying, the loneliness, the feeling of being small and invisible while her world burned from war and neglect. And she walked out stronger. Not louder, just steadier. One night, weeks later, an alarm ripped through the Academy. A Void Wyrm had pierced the protective planetary field. Void WRMS were ancient, starless creatures born in the black between galaxies. No psychic could touch their minds. They consumed thought and devoured light. Even council elites feared them. Students panicked. Master Quillen raised a shield, but it flickered. The WYRM had already embedded a mental parasite into the defense grid. Psionics fired beams and blasts, but it absorbed them. One instructor attempted to possess the beast mind. He died in seconds, screaming in silence. And then, as the WYRM turned toward the heart of the Academy, Elara stepped forward. "What are you doing?" cried Master Quillen. "She'll get herself killed," shouted Vaisha. But K, 17, rolled forward beside her and chirped. Elara didn't answer. She simply raised her hand and whispered. It was not a beam, not a fire, not a visible strike. But something changed. The WYRM stopped mid-lunge. Its tendrils twitched. The air bent strangely. The lights dimmed, then pulsed with a frequency no one understood. And then it withdrew, just like that, back into the void. Silence fell, not just among the students, but in the entire solar net. Master Quillen's voice shook. "What did you do?" Elara turned, finally speaking after weeks of silence. "I didn't fight it," she said. "I understood it. In the days that followed, the truth emerged. Elara wasn't weak. She wasn't unskilled. Her power was simply unreadable. Not because it was absent, but because it ran deeper than the Academy's instruments could measure. Elara's gift was empathetic inversion, a rare human trait that allowed her to reflect, absorb, and then invert emotions and intent. It was not flashy. It was not violent. But it was exactly what the Academy had never trained for. She had felt the WYRM's hunger, its fear, its confusion. She understood its pain. And in return, she shared her own, not as a weapon, but as connection, a bridge. Zevran couldn't look her in the eye after that. Vaisha tried to speak, but found herself speechless. For the first time, she saw the strength in quiet. And K-17? He painted a medal on his chest that read Elara's First Night. The council arrived weeks later, demanding an explanation. Elara met them calmly. You trained warriors to destroy, she told them. But not all threats can be destroyed. Some must be heard. The youngest counselor, a creature of pure energy, blinked slowly. And if it had killed you, then I would have died trying to do something no one else dared to. Listen. Elara was no longer called Earth Trash. She became the Bridge Walker, the first of a new class of psionics who trained not just in force, but in feeling. In a world obsessed with strength, she had shown the universe the power of vulnerability. And though she never bragged, never gloated, never rubbed her victory in anyone's face, she walked her head a little higher after that. Because the girl they all called the worst, she saved them all, without raising a single hand.